What's up, guys? Today we're gonna go into the last suit for Tierria, his last mobile suit in the Gundam 00 HG line, and it is the Gundam Raphael. Because they cut it off. It says Raphael, or here it just says Rap. But it's actually the Gundam Raphael. Now, if you saw the 00 movie, you know what this is. Sadly, not that many people saw it and liked it. I did, but I'm a 00 fan. Sure, the movie had its problems, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this rather unique Gundam. That's kind of a thing about Tierria's suits. They're all fairly well unique, both within the actual story of 00 and then even really in the Gundam universe. They're just the way he's always using two mobile suits at the same time. And this one is, of course, no exception, but we'll go into that later on. Now, you do get a great shot here on the front of the box of Raphael doing its thing, basically shooting large beams. It's what it does, just like all of that's all of Tierria's other suits. It is a definite heavy weapons Gundam, but unlike the others, you can tell here, he's not big and bulky. And we'll cover that a little bit more later on. But down here, you get a shot of the 00 Quanta just doing whatever 00 Quanta does. Get the Bandai emblem there, Gundam 00 emblem there, Awakening of the Trailblazer emblem up here. That's pretty neat. Don't know why they decided to cut it off, but oh well, it is what it is. And this is, HG scale modeled Gundam 00 number 69. This is from 2010, made in Japan. That's pretty cool. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense. It's made in Japan. Moving on. Come down to the bottom of the box, and you get a great action shot there of Raphael with its giant head weapon backpack thing. So, and here it is. You actually get a good shot of it doing things without its head backpack thing. You get the claws open up here. They can rotate. You got a good shot of it holding its gun and pointing its fist for no apparent reason. And then you get the shot down here of some accessories. Those are pretty cool. And I guess it's showing you that plugs in there. Foot can flop this way. Knee does knee-looking things. GN drives. Ignore this. Don't see this, guys. Okay. And then shoulder can maneuver somehow. And then I'm guessing this is just a slight description of the thing. Look, you've got a camera. Hey, you've got a little slap here. Oh, hey, some stuff you can use, and it can be mounted on a stand. Of course it can. Come over here, you get a repeat of the top box art, and once again, they cut off the label, but look, you can see more of it. Now it's a Gundam Raphael. And up here, it's Gundam Raph. That is, it's just funny that it's like that. Alright, come down to the bottom, and you get the read-up over here. Now, something that is different, CB002. So instead of, I think it's GN on everything else. Now, there's a reason for that, and we'll talk about that. But CB does stand for Celestial Being, so that's a little bit different there. Of course, you get a great little read-up here about what happened to it. You get a great read-up of Tierria there. I'm assuming that's catching up for the movie. You get a shot of the backpack there. Oh, hold on, wait. You get the great front and rear shot. There we go, okay. But of course they split it up. That's a little weird. I'm going to go ahead and point out the fact that says rear action. Yeah. There's a good shots from the movies. That's a cool looking shot of its face. It's very different looking. I mean, even compared to his other Gundams, it's very, very different. You'll see why when we get into describing it later. And then you get an action shot of it, doing some energy attack there. I'm assuming this is a warning for not sticking things in your face. It took away the 3-year-old warning, so that's interesting. You get the plastics, little man toilet. Come down here. It's only about 2,000 yen. I think I paid probably just a little bit more than that. This one wasn't overpriced or anything. And then, of course, it is made from Naochika Morishita. Always with the 00 line. And I'm really starting to appreciate his or her work. That's just really good stuff. Except for when they cut off the letters and put it upside down. Why is it always upside down, guys? Okay, alright, let's go ahead and get this guy out of here and take a look at his weirdness. Alright, guys, now we've got this out of its box, or really out of the display that I keep it in. And yeah, it is a very, very strange looking Gundam. He literally is carrying a huge thing on his head. it's it's a very, very unique Gundam, like I said. It's semi-unique in its color scheme, and it's definitely unique in its overall design. And just, it's, yeah, it just, how many Gundams do you know are basically carrying a giant backpack on its head? Back, yes. Shoulders, maybe. Large flying equipment, maybe. But this it takes it to a whole nother level. And I don't know if Tierria really has like a lot to do with the designs or not, but this definitely seems like him. Just something he would do. I don't want that to sound very mean, but it's kind of the truth. So, we'll take a closer look at this guy. If I can get it off the stand. Here we go. And you can come in close on the head. And, well, as good as you can see it, they got a sticker right there on the forehead. Nice camera sticker. You do get the eye sticker in there, and honestly, that's kind of it. There's not really too much more on this guy. I'm not gonna lie, there were definitely a lot more stickers. I painted a lot on this. So what I've mentioned before on some of the other kits I've done from the 00 series, I was really just getting into painting details. So this is where I really got into my favorite dark gray marker ever. And you will see that everywhere on this guy. So even right here on the wrist, this part is painted on. Right here on the side skirt, painted on. I believe that's supposed to be a sticker. Right here, this little detail. Right here on the knee, right here on the leg. This little venti here. The whole top of the foot right there. Right there. This little chunk on the bottom of the foot right there. All that painted. So it's just all details right here on the little claw dealy right there. Way up here on the sort of head skirt. It's a weird statement. Yeah, head skirt. It's kind of what it is. Back here on the big giant, whatever these are on the back, right there, that's got some dark gray. This has some dark gray here. These spots right here on the claws, this right here. Lots and lots of gray on this, guys. Believe me, it took time, even right here. Now, another thing is, you got the GN verniers right here. Of course, I painted those gold. They do give you a sticker, but I painted them. You come back to the back. Sorry. You got these boosters right here, if it'll focus. There it goes. So a little bit of gray and silver there. Actually, they might have been cast in gray, and then it just did a dab of silver in the middle. Back skirt right here, a little bit of gray. And if you can see it right there, also painted some gray. Back of the legs, not a whole lot going on there. Bottom of the feet, though, a thing I did not paint. Interesting foil sticker for the bottom of the feet with the black and some silver lining. I guess if I really wanted to put in some effort, I could have painted that. But honestly, at the bottom of the feet, who's going to look? And you do get a dab of gold right there. Now, what I'm going to do, real quick, is pull this off of the head. Just so we can take a closer look at Raphael itself. Now, if you're thinking it doesn't really look like one of the typical Gundams, even from this series, it's because it's not. What they did after the end of the series, spoilers, Cerevi was kind of left as a mess, but they did have several of the enemy suits still left over and semi-functional. So in reality, what this is mostly Gadessa. Just kind of reworked, and they actually combined a lot of the technology left over from Cerevi. That's all you'll notice, that this is actually very similar to Cerevi's head. So it's got the forward pointing horns and then the big wide V-fin. So that's why that's like that. But then some of the other roundness and the oddball shapes, the big skinny legs, that's actually more toward the lines of the Gadessa. So, and in reality, this guy is actually powered by 3 GN Tau drives instead of the original GN drives. So that's all there in the backpack. This guy mostly uses just energy storage whenever it's by itself. So, sorry, I'm clearing my throat. Let's go ahead and talk articulation on this guy, because the head, this is the only way the head's going to move, because with that on there, it does not move. You get a little tiny bit of turkey neck. You can sort of rotate it, but not much. this big old chin gets caught right in there in the collar. Oh, and one thing I did do, and you can see just the edge of it here, the inside of the collar, I painted all that because it just looks better. Otherwise, that would be just a bright yellow and just wouldn't look as good. I'm going to be totally honest. So yeah, the head, it doesn't get a lot of rotation. Sorry. That's why you can turn the whole body to look. Huh? What was that? Over here? Okay. Go over to the shoulders. Now, it does something like even the Hyakurin did. The shoulder armor flops outward so that you can put the arm way, way up. And then you rotate that way, and you can even get the high teacher movement over here. Hello! Okay. Oop. And it does have an interesting section here. So all of this like big ball section is what rotates for the shoulder. So you do get the hinge out here, but this thing itself also moves. That's pretty neat. I like that. It actually gives it a lot of maneuverability. And of course the armor here moves on its own swivel. So you do get bicep rotation. Bicep rotation. You get single jointed elbow, although it looks like it should be a double jointed elbow. That's some trickery there, like they did on some of the other kits. And you do get the standard ball jointed fist. And you don't, even though they would sort of fake it with that little bit there, no extra wrist movement. I like these arm spikies here. I don't know if these are meant to be, they didn't really mention it. I don't know if these are extra weapons or cameras. There's kind of a spot there, but either way, there's no ab crunch. It moves only because of the ball joint down here. You do get full waist rotation, though of course with the backpack on you won't, just like all its other predecessors. Come down here, you get some good hip skirt movement. It kind of just moves almost in every direction. You do get the lovely, lovely flippy front skirts. Now, I'm going to be honest and say I don't remember if those were separated to begin with or if I separated them. But I think if they were together, they would probably be more like this and wouldn't look as good. The fact that they sit a little farther back, they might have been separated. I honestly can't remember, guys. But it's okay. They're separated now, so we're just going to say that. You don't get any of the hip swivel like you did on the predecessors either, but you do get a nice rotation right up here out of the upper thigh. It is kind of a captured ball joint just like the others, so you don't get the full Jean-Claude, but you get a nice split range there. You do get some greatly double jointed knees, and because these legs are skinny, you actually get some really good bend. It's realistically at this point, it's just limited by the armor. It won't go much farther. I wish this knee had built in some articulation, but that's okay. I mean, look at, that's actually a really neat pose. Look at that, that's pretty cool. And then we come down to the footsies, and we get some nice high heels reminiscent of totally different series. But remember I talked about, you know, the innovators, they tend to be gender fluid, so there's a lot of femininity going on with this. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I do wish they had given this front skirt maybe a tiny bit of movement, but otherwise you can actually point the toe like this. I don't know if that's left over from Gadessa or what. The ankle does nothing, but you get a tiny bit of rock out of it there from the ball joint up here. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. I do like it. You can see actually right up in there, sort of, the ball joint that mounts everybody. So it's actually, can it get taller? Yeah, it can actually extend out and actually make itself taller. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I'm going to push it back up, actually. Alright, so that's it for Raphael by itself. Honestly, not a whole lot going on there, but it's pretty cool. I do like these new chest vents covers. That's actually very different. It's a neat detail. And the purple and white, I kind of like it. Now we'll talk about his gun. Very, unlike his predecessors, very small weaponry under normal circumstances. And of course you do get the clear plastic green bit there. I'm going to be honest and say I did paint that, yep. So I did have to paint that with a little bit of metallic green to bring it out, and then just a couple dabs of dark gray and some panel lining. And then, if you can even get in there with some light, a little bit of red. You can't barely see it right inside the actual thing. Now, one thing I really hate is that this handle, if it'll focus, the handle is so narrow and small, it really doesn't have an easy time holding it. So if you just sort of set it in there, it's okay. If you start moving the, yeah, see? it doesn't stay in there as well because only where the trigger is thick enough to really set in the fist. Come on, there it goes. They don't give it a way to lock in there, lock in the form, or anything. So that's it. I'm going to set Raphael to the back real quick, and we're going to look at the head pack, head pack. I'm going to go ahead and raise the camera up just a little bit so we can get some room for this. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put Raphael on the stand just because. And we'll sort of talk accessories here at the same time because, well, that's pretty much what we're at. So, you get this big, ridiculous backpack. And if you say, hey, wait a minute, there's a thing right there. That looks like a Gundam head. You're right. Okay, it's a Gundam head. What this is, in fact, turn it all over. Yep, that's Cerevi. This is actually the Cerevi 2. So, in the actual movie, when they got into trouble, he left Raphael behind to self-detonate, transformed this into a green Cerevi, and then flew away. Because he could remotely control this guy. Sadly, this cannot transform into Cerevi. I know, it sucks. But I'll go ahead and I'll bring this out so you can see. That is definitely Cerevi's head, without a doubt. You know, you just see it all the way in there. And even with the crystal, the only thing he doesn't have is the horns. The chest is almost identical with a few little bits missing. This whole crotch piece is, you know, you can see it's pretty much the same shape at least. And this skirt armor is functional. You can even see here, those are the GN cannons combined with the arms. So he's flying around with Cerevi on his back and slash his head. Now it does come apart slightly, and I'm going to do this carefully because it's on the weirdest of slidey gimmicks. Okay, so here's the upper half. Back half? I don't. Okay, so you can totally rotate this around and sort of give it a Cerevi look. See? That's pretty neat. And I will admit, that face had to be completely painted. They didn't give you anything. It was all in green. So if it looks a little sloppy, that's why. A couple little dabs of paint here and there. And of course you get these giant GN cannons, or bazookas, that were mounted on his back. And if you come back here, painted that gray, painted that red. And of course this is all supposed to be Cerevi's back. I'll go ahead and rotate this the proper direction. There we go. Oh, yep, it doesn't go all the way around. There we go. Now, like I said, it's weird because he flies around with these giant bazookas on his back, but I don't think he ever shoots them. Oh, and here you can actually see way more detail that I added. And of course, where I had to clean up some really ugly nubs. Not gonna lie, that was not a great job. Oh, yeah, you can even see right inside there if I can catch the light just right. On camera, probably not. I can see it. But right inside the bazookas, I did paint them red. Now we'll look at the upper bottom top half. I don't know. Now you do get some skirt action. I don't know why. It doesn't really serve any purpose when it comes to actually installing it. It just is. And of course this would be the crotch of Cerevi. So you can see it's the legs kind of splayed open there. They even give you some of the details that it would look like the actual legs. Now the important part is of course these GN claws. Pull that off, pull that off. Now I'll go ahead and install this on the head. So what it does, this big old tab right here just goes into that slot right there. And I don't know what just fell out, probably the gun, don't care. And he just sits with that on his head. I will put the rest of the backpack on later when I get to it. Okay, so the GN claws are pretty cool. Now they can actually fly around on their own. So what we have here is one of the accessories. A little clear stand. It's pretty neat. You just plug these little pieces in right there where it would mount on the shoulder, crotch, leg part. And now you've got them in flying around mode. It's pretty neat. It gives you an option for displaying in a very different manner. Now we're going to talk over some details on this because you can also take these and make it look like they're kind of about to launch or flying off of Raphael. So you can actually get that kind of look. That's pretty neat. Actually, I actually store or display it with that like that. So I'm going to go ahead, pull that off, Pull that one off. You can tell though, because of this whole setup, it gets very, very top heavy very fast. Now, one of the cool gimmicks here is it can transform slightly. So that pulls open, and you can see right in here, you got a nice GN Tau drive. Now, did have to paint that. So this is actually just some white primer and a little bit of silver paint right there, and then a tiny bit of green right down there. Now for, I think it's attack mode, or when it's flying around on its own, you can actually pull out the GN drive. They could have made this gimmick a little simpler. Now, this is easier when it's in extended mode, which we'll see in just a second. Okay, so pop it out and we can get a decent quick look at it. Yeah, it's a neat little GN drive. I like that. And then you see right in there, if I can actually get the light in there. There we go. You can see a couple holes. That tab just moves in. You move it up one notch, and now it's in flying around mode. Yay, we like flying around mode. Now, what we have here is the closed claws. Now, what you have here is you can actually move that one around. That's pretty neat because they do operate kind of like hands. I'm going to go ahead and I'll transform the other one while I'm at it, just so we can get the full effect. That one actually wiggled out really easy in comparison. I do wish they weren't so hollow, but it is what it is. Stick that in there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mess with the thumb. I just call it a thumb because it may as well be, right? Alright, now in this mode, these are just kind of flying around like this, no problem. These are supposed to be cannons as well. So what you do is you just pull that off. You see right here, just got a nice little tab. It goes into the poly cap right inside there. Okay. Then we get to the good stuff, guys. Because usually, just like when we got Seraphim that could transform from a seemingly nothingness, you get these. So these are the GN claws, and they can, of course, articulate. I'm going to go ahead and install this one. And that they can go either way as long as you've got the tab facing the right way. So you just stick it right in there, plug it in. Now, this guy can totally open up. And you can see right in here, a nice GN beam emitter. And each one of these claws can articulate independently. So there's like a little ball joint or swivel there, and you get another ball joint or swivel up here. You can spread them out just a little bit, and now you get some awesome GN claw. So when he let these go, he was flying around. He would grab, I think he was grabbing some of the L's suits, and he would crush them. But also, this is how he would shoot. So it'd fly up, or he'd be flying along and just, shooting. Sorry, I nailed the camera right there. This thing is awesome. I just love this. Go ahead and do it to the other side, because this is how I display this guy, with these big open claws. Because honestly, if they had made it to where they could shut completely, then you would realistically just have no need for the other bit. They get close, but you can't. The other thing is, with this display mode, you can't close this up all the way, because on the other one, none of this is in the way. So you do get some great little posability out of these cool little claws, or big claws, however you want to look at them. But we can go ahead and install that back on Raph, just like so. And like I said, he's wanting to get very side and top heavy. Okay, just like that. Whew, that is hefty. I mean, you can feel the weight. He needs his backpack, head pack installed, so it'll balance. Give me a second. I'm going to turn him around. Now, the way this installs is the scary part, and you can see I've got it worn out a little bit. So this groove right here, along with this kind of also peg, goes in right up here on these slotted kind of tabs. And it's not a perfect fit, but it holds. And you can see it was a little worn out just from how it installs. Now, that is awesome. Now let's try to give him his gun back. Voila. And now we've got Raphael in attack mode. Now, he is capable of Trans Am as well, but of course it's a fake Trans Am, but that's okay. All of which was installed. Sorry, moving all these bits out of the way. So, you got all those parts installed later on. I think it was even Billy Katagiri that did it when they built this suit for Tierria. Whenever it came out, it like it boosted out of the Celestial Being. I think that's why it's called a CB, not a GN, because Celestial Being built this separately. So it is pretty awesome and mean, and really it fits Tierria. You think it's one way, and then it goes the other, and it's very mysterious. I'm not saying anything bad about it. Now, there is another version of this. There is no kit for it, but this is mainly a space mode. It does have a terrestrial mode where all of the CeraV parts are armor on this, and it looks amazing, but there's no kit for it. So, but since this is the end of Tierria's kits, let's go ahead and pull out all of them. Set Raphael off to the side. We will pull out CeraV Un. Go ahead and get Seraphim right there. Yeah, mind you, I don't have enough stands for everybody to be on the stand. Pull out Natalie. Now, whenever I have these in my actual display, they're all on a stand individually. And whenever I have this entire run of 00's model kits finished, I will show off the display. So that's it for Tierria's suits, and they are just awesome and very unique. You know, you go from the big and bulky to the skinny and fast but with special abilities, to kind of combining the two but introducing the backpack mode, to a totally new design based off of an enemy suit, and then slapping your old suit on as a hat. I do love these kits, guys. Tierria was one of my favorite characters from the show. He was very different, and he had a different point of view to things than his comrades. And, well, it kind of reflects in the way he pilots his suits and the weapons he chooses to use. So, stay, Virtue. It's going to want to fall over. You watch. That giant gun out front. Oh, that is one cool thing. The other version of this actually uses that bazooka. That's really, really cool. I do like that. Alright, guys. That's going to be it for this part of the 00 reviews. There will, of course, be more. So, stick around. Check out all those if you're a fan of 00 just like I am, or if you're a fan of any of the other series I've reviewed. IBO, Build Fighters. Check out those playlists. Check out those gunplays. Check out the the Shoky Quickies, because they're quick little videos about other nerdy stuff. But that's it, guys. Check me out. I'll catch you guys later. Told you! I told you he would fall! And from all of these awesome suits, remember, guys, to keep on building.